A very good day to all of you. Today, we are going to learn a new and an interesting topic, behavioral finance. And we are also going to see what are all the behavioral biases that influence a person's financial decision making. So, we have to know what is the traditional finance first, because in the early days, we followed only the traditional finance. After that, many new concepts has come, and now we are following this behavioral finance strategy only. So, what is traditional finance? What are the assumptions of the traditional finance? Let us see. What are they? Traditional finance assumes that the investors are always rational. That means they will take their financial decisions only logically. And it also assumes that the markets are always efficient. That means the prices of the stocks and the assets will reflect all the information in itself. This was the assumption of traditional finance. But in contradictory to this, what behavioral finance is telling, the people are always irrational. They will not take decision always logically. This was the assumption of behavioral finance, because this behavioral finance is a combination of psychology and economics or finance. In this behavioral finance, they are assuming that the people will take the financial decision not only logically, but also other psychological factors affect their decision making. This theory was proposed by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky. See, this Daniel Kahneman and Tversky tells that the people's financial decision making is highly influenced by their emotions and many biases. That is what we are going to see in this session. We'll see what are all the biases that influence the decision making of a person. Anchoring bias, confirmation bias, overconfidence bias, availability bias, loss aversion, herd behavior, status quo bias, framing effect, and sunk cost fallacy. Let us see one by one. Anchoring bias. Anchoring bias tells that people tend to depend heavily on the first piece of information they receive while making their financial decision. For example, see, if you are going to a shop and seeing a product for the first time and its price is 300 rupees. That was the first piece of information you are getting about the product's price. That is, that will be registered in your mind. That is, the price of the product is 300. Right? Now, you are going to a second shop. And there you are finding the same product for rupees 250. So, obviously, what you will be thinking? That the price of the product is comparatively cheaper than the first shop. That will be your intention, right? You will be thinking like that only. But you are not going to analyze further. What you will do? You will purchase that product for 250 rupees, thinking that it is cheaper. But maybe in the third shop, for the same product, they will be selling for rupees 150. So what will happen? Definitely, you have purchased for a loss, isn't it? So, this type of biases or confusions are called anchoring biases that a person makes while taking a financial decision. So, in this example, you can see that while negotiating a salary, if the first number is mentioned as high, obviously, you will be asking for a higher price than that, isn't it? This type of biases are called anchoring biases. Next is confirmation bias. See, in this confirmation bias, what they are telling us, the investors will tend to focus on the evidence that support their pre-existing beliefs. That means already you will be believing that the stock, for example, you take the example of a stock market. Okay, in the stock, the investor believes that certain stock will rise Right. So what he will be waiting for? He will be waiting for a positive news about the stock. That is, if any two persons is telling that the price will increase, means definitely he will stick on to his decision. But he will not rely or depend on any other negative information about the stock. So whatever information or whatever decision he is having, he will be sticking on to that particular decision. He will not be considering for other negative or considering other negative information. If he is getting a confirmation from any two persons or any one person, he will be sticking on to his decision. So he is not looking further. So this type of biases is called confirmation bias. Even though if he is choosing another option, means even though he is getting a better profit, he will not choose another option because he is not ready to choose the another option. He is very adamant in that particular decision. That is why he is waiting for a positive response for his decision. If he gets a positive sign, means definitely he will stick on to his decision, or he will invest in the same platform what he has already decided. This type of bias is called confirmation bias. Now, let us see what is overconfidence bias. Overconfidence bias means, for example, a person will be taking a decision and he will not listen to anyone else. Okay, he will not wait for the confirmation, or he will not listen to what other persons are telling. Only he will stick on to the decision he has taken, even though it is a wrong option. Okay, so he will. So see this example. The business leader may be overconfident in the product success, even though the market research tells that it will give a weaker demand. Why? Because he is overconfident on what decision he has made. So this type of bias is called overconfidence bias. In confirmation bias, he will be waiting for a few positive results. If we get a positive result, then he will stick on to that particular decision. But in overconfidence bias, they will not wait or they will not listen for any person, whatever decision they have made. For example, if they have decided to invest in a particular stock, even if it is a loss, they will stick on to that particular decision. They will not listen to others. This type of, because they are overconfident about their decision. This type of biases may lead to loss also. So this is one type of bias a persons will follow while taking the decision making. Okay. Next one is availability bias. Availability bias means, see, if you are getting an information about a stock, for example, you got a recent information that the company you have invested has gone to a loss. So obviously, while you are investing for the second time, if you are again investing, means you will think twice whether to invest in the company or not, because the recent information you got is that the company is going to a loss, isn't it? But what you will do, you will search for some other companies which is giving profit rather than investing in that particular company, because only based upon the recent information. Maybe that company has given a profit for the past 10 years, but what the recent information you got, only on that basis of that recent information you are taking decision. That is called availability bias. See the example here. After hearing about the recent airplane crash, a person might overestimate the risk of flying. He may be hesitant to fly because recently he heard about an airplane crash. Only that recent news is fed in his mind. So he will take decision only upon that recent news. This type of bias is called availability bias. Okay. Next is loss aversion. This is very, very interesting thing. See, for an example, you are expecting a first rank, or you are expecting the highest score in your class, and finally your results came and you got 95%. So obviously you will be becoming happy. But at the same time, your friend or your classmate is getting more than you, that is scoring more than you. For example, he is getting 98%. What will happen? Definitely the happiness will go off, right? So you will be thinking that how I lost this 3% mark. I have got only 95%, but he is getting 98%. Where I lost that 3%. So definitely what happens? You were happy when you got 95%, but at the same time, when you heard that you have lost 3% marks means you will become sad. So in this behavioral finance, they are telling that in this theory, they are telling that the pain from loss is more than the pleasure from gain. This is the concept of loss aversion. That is, we are not ready to accept the loss. Even if you are getting a good profit, you will be happy, but you will be not much happy if you are gaining a loss or facing a loss. That is called loss aversion. Okay, so the pain from a loss is more than the pleasure from a gain. That is the concept of loss aversion. See, you just take this example. An investor might refuse to sell a losing stock, hoping it will recover. He knows that that stock, whatever he is holding, is a loss, is going to a loss. But still, he will hold the stock in the expectation that it will rise. The price of the stock will rise because he is not ready to accept his loss. That is, accept that the decision he has made is wrong. So what he will do? He will wait till the price of the stock rises. Then only he will be ready to sell. Even he know that if he sell the stock now and if he purchase another stock, he will get the profit. He will not be ready because he is not ready to face the loss. That type of bias is called loss aversion, because the pain of losing is more than the happiness of gain. This is the concept of loss aversion. Next, herd behavior. Herd behavior is nothing but blindly following the masses. Blindly, that is, without gathering any other information or without searching for whether it is right or wrong, we are simply following the masses or groups. That is called herd behavior. Okay. For example, see, during a stock market boom, the investors may rush to buy the stocks because others are also buying, so I am buying. This is your concept. Everyone is buying the stock, so why can't I? So I will also buy the same stock. This will be your intention. Some people will go behind this herd behavior, even though the market price may be overpriced. You are not ready to search that and all. Maybe it was an overpriced stock, but you are not bothered about that. Why? Why? Because you are running behind the herds or running behind the masses. Everyone is buying the stock. So obviously it may be a good one. That was your assumption. So you will be going behind that particular stock. This is called the herd behavior. Hope you understood. Next one is status quo bias. This is a tendency to prefer things to remain the same because many people are very lazy and they are very lazy to accept the new changes. They will be happy in the whatever they have. That type of persons will be having the status quo bias. Even though they know that if they are adopting to a new change, it will be a benefit for them. They will not be ready to adopt the new change. They will be remain or stick on to the same thing whatever they are having. See, for example, a company may continue using the outdated technology because changing a new system may be difficult for them. even though it is giving a more profit, or if they are changing the technology, it will give more benefits to that company, they will be hesitating to adopt that change. So this type of bias is called status quo bias. That is, they will remain in the same position and they will not ready to adopt any changes even though it is giving a profit. So such type of investors, some people will do that only. Whatever stock they are investing, they will remain in that same stock. For example, they will always purchase a particular company stock, means they used to purchase for a long period in that same company. They will be knowing that if we are investing in any other platforms like mutual funds or any other futures or options, it will be given a better profit than what they are having now, even though they are not ready to move up. They will be stick on to the old system. So that is called status quo bias. Next one is framing effect. What is framing effect? That is, this gives an idea how the information has been framed, how the persons will take the decision according to the information framed. Just see this example. A doctor is telling for a surgery. Okay, he is recommending a surgery, and he is telling the same thing in two different manners. First method I'll tell you. In the first statement, what he is telling is there is a 90% chance of survival rate. If you do the surgery, there is a 90% chance of survival rate. And the same doctor is telling in another way, there is a 10% chance of death if you do this surgery. So, which one will be effective? If the doctor tells you that there is 90% chances of survival rate, means you will be ready to do that surgery. But the same doctor or the same thing he is telling in another way, like there is a 10% chance of death, means definitely you will be getting afraid of that surgery and you will be hesitating to accept that surgery, right? So the way they are framing something, it is called framing effect. See, another example I'll tell you. You are buying a product. In that product, it was mentioned that 20% fat. And the same another product has mentioned 80% fat-free, means obviously our mind will go to that 80% fat-free. We will choose that 80% fat-free product because one product has mentioned 20% fat. So what will be thinking? Oh, in this product we are having fat content, so we don't buy that. But the same thing what we are doing is we are taking an 80% fat-free, but the result is same only, right? So how they are framing? So how the market is framing their products. So accordingly we will purchase. This is the mindset of the people. Positive things will attract more, right? So how they are framing better will affect the person's decision making. Next is sunk cost fallacy. In this, see, if a person has already invested the money in some platform, means he will not be ready to lose that money. For example, I'll tell you, a company might funding a failing project again and again only because they have already spent millions of rupees in that particular company, because they have already sunk in that company, so that they keep on funding to that particular project, even though it is going to a loss. So, and I'll tell you one easy example for this. See, you are purchasing a ticket for an event. For example, you have purchased a ticket for 50,000 rupees for a mega event, okay? 50,000 or 10,000 or 30,000, whatever may be, okay? And the same day you got fever. What you will do? Will you accept that? Will you be at home or will you go to that event? You will not accept, because you have already invested the money for that event. So obviously what you will do, you will definitely go to the event even if you are not feeling well. So you give priority to that particular investment because already you have invested. So you are not ready to come back, or you are not ready to waste that money. So you will be going to that particular event even if you are not well. So if you are going there and you will be getting much ill and you are going to give more than that money to the hospital, maybe it may happen. But still what you are doing, already I have invested, so why I have to waste the money? That will be your intention, right? So definitely, obviously you are choosing the first option, that is you are going to that particular event. You will choose the event. So you are not ready to lose the already invested money. That is called sunk cost fallacy. If some person has invested in particular property, so he will not be ready to lose that money. So somehow he will be funding and trying to utilize that money. So that type of biases is called sunk cost fallacy. So these are all the biases that influence a person's decision making. Hope you understood and you have enjoyed this class. Thank you so much.